There we go. We're recording. So what I'm doing is I'm just controlling stuff with my controller here. So basically, if you click on something and you've got your Ableton Live controller, it's designed to work with Ableton Live. Like for example, this Arturia one, you hold down on this one here, you hold down Shift and you hit the 8 button there and it pulls it up into Ableton Live mode. And now the big blue hand, what happens, here let me just delete these real quick, is that anything, when I've clicked on it here, these knobs are going to control different things on here. Now, one thing is though you have to do is you have to kind of know what these knobs are controlling on here, because it's going to be some of these things, you know, it's going to be a little bit hard to understand. So I use this big blue hand thing sometimes for certain things, but unless, like, this is why I like having the push, because the push really does allow you to kind of, I don't know why this one's not working, because I should be going through all these different things here. That's weird. But the push shows you what you're controlling. So yeah, it's kind of like a DJ set. But the push shows you what you're controlling. It has like a little LCD, like an LED screen here that goes up. It's not exactly, I wouldn't say it's more for live performance. Temujin-san is saying it's more for live performance. I don't know if I agree with that. This is something that I do use in my studio a lot. But in my studio, I'm using the Ableton Live push, and it's got a window on it so you can see what's going on. I actually don't use Ableton Live on stage right now so much. I've actually been moving over to a more hardware setup for things. When I have used it in the past, I've used specific controllers for things. I'd love to be able to see what I'm doing though, and I use my push like all the time. It's one of my favorite things that I've ever bought. So this big blue hand is really just for normal, I use it for normal production. It's just, you just got to get used to it. So the other thing is, if you don't want to use the big blue hand, what you can do is hit Command M. Oh, automation. Yeah, but I don't like to draw in my automation. I actually like to play in my automation. Depends on what I'm doing. If I'm having something go for a long time, over time, I'll draw it in. But if I'm like playing something like this, I would actually play this in. And I would record this as audio. So like if I just want to get those like funky guitars in here, let me show you what I mean by that. If I just want to get these funky guitars in here, what I would do, yeah, a lot more feel, is I would cut out the low end of this. So here we can grab this. Now, what I would do is I make a track here, and this is something I kind of talked about yesterday, and let's call this one, I don't know, guitar funk bounce. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send my effect track and this into my guitar funk rack, my guitar funk bounce channel. So audio 2, guitar funk bounce. And over here, same thing, this effect track, guitar audio 2, external out, guitar funk bounce. And this one here, I'm going to record it, set my monitor to auto. And now I can record it. So now, right? So now, all that stuff that I just played is now in here, and I can make a little loop. Which is kind of cool. And now I could put another filter on this. and it makes a nice little bed. Move that a little bit over. Cool. Why are you not? Oh, it's repitching, that's why. Let's see, hold on a second. That's weird, it's like not paying attention to my start point there. Weird. Not sure about that. Okay, so what we're gonna do here now is, let's just demonstrate what I was kind of doing before, before I started recording here, is that if I want this one to be these two knobs, the filter to be these two knobs here, and let's say I want this filter over here to be these two knobs, what I can do is I can hit Command M and assign these as I want. So, did I just kill Ableton Live? I just killed Ableton Live. AJ, see, that's what I get. That's what you get for wanting me to record this stuff. Looking at you, AJ. Let's see what happens when we reopen this. Yes. All right. It's opening it up. All right, so let's load all that stuff back in. Okay. Yes, you crashed. I know. You're very proud of yourself. Okay, so what I can do is I go in here and I hit Command M and I turn the knob and I turn, wait, did I? Turn the knob and turn this knob. And I'm going to turn off Command M and I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to hit Command M on this one. And I'm going to turn this knob. I'm going to turn this knob, and you can see up in the upper left-hand corner, it kind of showed me where all these knobs are, what control change number they are, and I turn this off. Now, this one now controls these parameters, and I'm looking down here, and this one, these knobs here, control these parameters here. And so you can easily set it up. Now, this is how I would use it on stage. Temujin-san says that, is this how you would use it on stage? And the answer is, this is how I would use it on stage. Because on stage, I really want to lock certain parameters into certain knobs on my keyboard. So this is what I would do on stage. So these two always control something, or this one always controls one thing, and this one always controls one thing. Because I have 16 knobs here, and they can all control 16 different parameters. And that's actually a really cool way to work your live sets on a stage, to have the same things always controlling the same stuff. But when I'm in a studio, I don't need it to be doing that as much, because I'm not constantly returning back to the same parameter on the same plugin like I am on a stage. On a stage, I'm always kind of going back to that same parameter because I'm working with a lot less factors. Whereas in a studio, there's a lot more different things going on. So yeah, cool. And that's really what that I wanted to kind of explain. Yeah, I got it for Creative first, and then for Stage. Yeah, so yeah, I use Ableton Live in the studio, and then traditionally I have used it on stage, and that's actually what I got it for initially. This is back in, like I said, 2001 when it first came out, was for the stage. And then what happened was I just loved Ableton Live so much that it started taking over my my production work as well.